everyone, my name is Chelsea. I am an Australian living in Paris and I love all things French, fashion and sewing. I talk a lot about sewing on this channel. I am up in my sewing studio. I've got my collection of fabric behind me, which is slowly but surely growing. I really need to put them to good use. I'm going to show you what I'm working on at the moment. Some very exciting projects that I can't wait to finish, including sewing and crochet and knitting. The weather is cooling down here in Paris, and so it's really nice to get all cozy and just kind of escape to the quiet part of the house for me and work on my projects. So the first sewing project that I've almost finished is a robe, a house robe. It is in some gorgeous cotton with these paisley prints, so I don't think I'll be wearing it a lot throughout winter because it's not very warm, but it is so luxurious. I don't know if it's because it's white and just very elegant and the motifs are really pretty, or if it's like the big sleeves that make it feel so luxurious, but walking around the house I just feel that much extra put together. There's something to be said about wearing nice pajamas and housewear. All I have to do now is just hem it. I did modify this pattern a fair bit because there's actually a contrasting fabric along the edge of the neckline, and so I kind of didn't modify the back pattern, so I've had to kind of make do, and I added a panel. But for the rest, I put the patterns together as I cut out so that it was one big piece. But I think for a future project, it would be really nice to do contrasting fabrics, kind of have this front edge in a different color or pattern. It would look really sweet. So I'm very excited about this. I just need to do the waist tie as well, and then it's all done. This is the main project that I'm working on at the moment. It is a gorgeous trench coat. So I've put in the collar. I'm actually quite happy with how that turned out. I've got this little, I don't know what you call this, but it's like a front buttonhole, and I really like it. It's just a gorgeous color. I've also done the pockets. I've got this gorgeous lining fabric. The rest of the pieces are sitting in front of me. So I had a bit of a dilemma this week. I realized that I cut out the wrong piece in the main fabric and I actually ran out. So I went to the fabric store on Tuesday at lunchtime and they were closed. And then I went to the fabric store on Friday at lunchtime and it turns out that they have no more trench fabric in this color, no more gabardine. So I was really bummed, but I'm like, okay, I want to finish this project. I still want to be able to wear it, and thankfully the piece that I was missing in this fabric is sitting on the inside, so I kind of tried to work it out. I ended up creating a panel. I still had a little bit of this fabric left. I had cut it out in a different piece. Anyway, this is what I've had to do. I got this just basic cotton poplin or something in a similar color. It's gonna be like a lining. So say it's sitting here on my body. This is the only part that you're gonna see. So it actually turned out quite well. We'll see once it's finished. I just think this lining is just so stunning. I think I've got a little bit left that I might be able to make out of a dress, but I'm so glad to be putting it to good use, and I think it kind of goes well with this color. It's getting quite cold here in Paris, so I wanna hurry up and have this done by next week and then eventually start on a coat project, which I'll show you next. So I've got this wool mix fabric in this thick navy blue, and I'm going to make this coat. I'm so excited, and I've printed out the instructions. I really like view B with the sleeves and the long length. Hopefully I have enough fabric. I do need to pick up some lining, and I love a contrasting, interesting lining that is a bit of interest when you do open up the coat. I think if I do successfully complete this trench coat, I'll have a lot more confidence to complete this coat and wear it throughout winter. I also want to add like a really nice brooch to the front, just make it a little bit more classy. So far I have assembled the coat pattern. The pieces are huge. Voila. I'm hoping to start this coat project before November comes around in 2 weeks or so. I know that European summer is quite a way away, but I was given this gorgeous fabric from a brand in Dubai. It's not the easiest fabric to work with, to be honest. It's called synthetic georgette. There wasn't a lot of it. Anyway, I've had to make do, and I've cut it out in this gorgeous vintage pattern that I found in an op shop in Australia, and it only requires 2 pieces, well 4 pieces, but it's just so simple. And I really love these flouncy sleeves with the slit in the middle. It's so cute. I'm going to have to work out how I'm gonna line it, or if I just wear a slip dress or something underneath, because it is quite transparent. When you have the time pressure of seasons that are coming along, you put those projects that you're gonna wear for that season as a priority. So this project has kind of been put on the back burner, but I will come back to it soon. I also thought I'd mention some fabrics that I picked up this week. I went to the fabric store to get more trench fabric, only to discover that they had no more left. And so I thought I may as well make the most of this outing. And because in that area, in the 18th arrondissement, as I've mentioned before, there's a huge area of fabric shops and it's just really lovely. So I made a few purchases. I got this gorgeous, I don't even know what fabric it is, but I just love it. It's slightly stretchy, elastic. Not even, it's just got a bit of give. It has the most gorgeous texture. I love this blue. Honestly, it's so lovely. So I think it is just synthetic something, but it was 3 meters for €5, and I was like, I'm taking that home. This will be another summer dress for next year. I also got this gorgeous navy denim fabric because I want to make another version of this dress that I made a couple of weeks ago in this red and white floral print, and I was so happy with how this turned out. It was a super quick and easy project. I made it in a week after work. I wear it at least once a week to the office, and if I wear it with some heels and my trench coat, it can look quite formal and put together. And then I can also just wear it out and about getting groceries, but it also has pockets. I love the cinched waist. I think it's super feminine. So yeah, I can't wait. I really want to start on this project this week. But the thing is, if I start too many projects at once, I do find that it actually slows me down and I get less done. So I really want to get this trench out of the way and then maybe work on this next week, and then the following week start my coat. But I picked up this lace trim as well because as a bit of interest this time, thought I could make this as a trim on the neckline, maybe even the cuffs and maybe even the hem. This trim I found at one of my favorite haberdasheries in Paris, the one that I went to like 10 times for Fashion Week, because they have everything. And one of my sewing goals at the moment is to introduce lace into a piece because I just think it makes it so much more professional and feminine. So I'm really excited to put that together. All right, now onto my crochet and knitting. So as I said, I picked up crochet very recently. I've been wanting to crochet for a long time. I'm talking like years, but it's one of those things like knitting, like sewing, that I just put off for so long because I didn't know where to start. I knew how I could copy from a YouTube video, but it just sometimes doesn't click, it doesn't stay. And so I decided to go to an in-person class in Paris and learn how to make a granny square. And it was so much fun. It wasn't cheap, but for me, it's so worth it because it's opened the door to a completely new hobby and the opportunities to create so many more new and beautiful things. I really want to remember that when I want to develop and work on a new skill. I think it's really worthwhile to seek out the professionals and actually pay for a class. So I picked up this pattern, and they also had a deal that if you buy the yarn of one of their projects available, that you can actually take the pattern with you. So I got a bunch of yarn. These were my colors. I wasn't sure what to go with, and people keep asking me if it's for Christmas. No, it's not for Christmas. It's just because I like these colors. It's kind of Christmassy though. All it requires is 13 granny squares and 2 half granny squares. I think I've made 12 so far, and it is so fun. It's a really easy project to do on my way to work, on the train, on my lunch break when I have a few spare minutes, and it's just so relaxing. It requires a size 2 crochet hook. In January, I went to a garage sale in Sydney and I purchased these wooden handles, a bit like this, and my parents are coming over in a couple weeks. So I've made the strange request, can you please bring some wooden handles with you? No, don't bring Australian snacks, just some wooden handles, please. So that's gonna be great. Then I can complete this project. I don't know if it needs lining, we'll see, but I'm very excited about this. It's almost done. And this project has inspired me to do a very big granny square. What I worked out is that I can actually just keep growing a granny square. I've started a blanket, my first crochet blanket. I can't believe it. So I've got this really thick yarn. It's huge. I'm using size 6 hook, but it actually needs size 8 for this thickness of yarns, it feels a little bit dense, and then when I lie it flat, it kind of curls up because I think it's just like too tight, but it's fine. It's just a really quick and easy, fun project. It's actually amazing how quickly I go through the balls of yarn, but it's just so fun. And then for my 2 knitting projects, I'm working on a beanie at the moment. It's called the Oslo Beanie by Petit Knit, and I'm actually a little bit stuck. I took it to a friend this morning who is an amazing knitter. She knits these gorgeous jumpers, and I thought she'd be able to help me. So once I knit 20 centimeters in the beanie, in the stockinette stitch, I need to like fold it up or something. I'm a little bit stuck. I might need to find a tutorial on YouTube and see, because the pattern doesn't seem clear to me. I think this is the bottom, so technically it's gonna be like this, but I think that looks ridiculous. But I think it's gonna be folded up or something like that. I'm not too sure, but I love this yarn. It's this gorgeous soft cashmere that I got in Sydney in a really lovely yarn store called Morris & Sons in the CBD. I'm very excited. I want to have this done before winter rolls around as well. My next project I'm about to finish, I made this Sophie shawl. So the Sophie scarf has been very popular online. I'm also very keen to make one of those, but this is essentially just a bigger version in the garter stitch. So a really easy beginner project and a great way to learn how to increase and decrease. There's a lot of mistakes. I don't know how I made so many mistakes in such a simple stitch, because I've been knitting for a long time. I feel like the expert at garter stitch because that's all I did for a long time. I was too scared to make a garment or try anything I could actually wear. So I should be the expert in the garter stitch, but apparently not, because there are a lot of mistakes, but it's fine. It's still great. And I want to show you my stitch markers as well. I made these stitch markers out of a bracelet I had when I was 8. My mom gave me this bracelet from Hong Kong. I kept it for years, and then I decided I'm just gonna use the bracelet, and I broke it up and put the beads on these gorgeous stitch markers, and I just think they're so cute. Oh, I just realized I have more than 2 knitting projects. I bought a bunch of yarn online. It's 60% bamboo, 30% silk, and 10% cashmere, and it is so soft. It's a fingering weight, so 4-ply I think it is. So I'm tossing up between making this cardigan pattern or making a hot water bottle cover. I also made the discovery that if I use 2 yarns of fingering weight at the same time, it turns into an 8-ply yarn. So I used double, and that was genius. I don't know why I didn't think of that before, but I think it'd be so fun to make a water bottle cover. I actually saw this week while I was at the fabric store. There's this really fun and affordable store called Normal in Paris. It's a bit like Kmart maybe, or the Reject store. I saw this and I thought I would love to use this in winter because it gets quite cold in Paris in comparison to Sydney, and I don't know if I'm prepared for it yet. So I think I'm gonna make this. I think it's gonna be so fun. I can't wait. So that's it. Those are a couple of my works in progress. As I said, it is almost winter here, so it's nice to have a few things to look forward to be able to use when it's cold. If you have any more crochet ideas for beginners, I would be more than happy to hear them out. I'm really excited to keep pursuing this hobby. And with that, I'm going to love you and leave you, and I wish you a very happy week of sewing. Bisous.